Holy Spirit. I'm about to tap in, and I want to do something that, if I could just keep my ass consistent enough and really block my time out so I don't make certain times available for anybody else. But anyway, I want to start doing and giving readings for Crayon Gemini placements. Um, it's like just some backstory. So when I was kind of asking questions and kind of asking my spirit team to kind of help me learn who I am, just like learn who I am as like a spiritual being, and why this and why that, kind of like self-discovery. I came across crayon energy, and I got introduced by way of my sister, Professor Melanie. And Professor Melanie, like, pretty much a lot, everything that she talks about, like, speaks to my heart. And so she was talking about the crayon, it's not a planet, it's an asteroid. And she was talking about it and how, that's like the wounded healer. And once you reach a certain level of healing that placement, you can use your story and everything to kind of speak on it and teach it, and that in return will help you heal that placement as well, no matter where it is, what planet it aligns with, and whatever house it's in. It's good to kind of speak on it, teach others about it, that kind of have the same placement, to help you heal. And so, for me, for the longest, I've tried to shy away from, speaking on things. And this is why, I'm now 40 years old and, speaking on certain things that I've, had kind of embedded in me all this time. And so I want to, now that I've reached another level, I want to utilize my platform, utilize tarot, and speak on crayon and Gemini, and what that means, and what that can mean, intuitively, and and what's needed, intuitively. And one thing that my spirit team guided me to do when it came to like my altar work is, and this may have been 3 years ago now when I did this, but I was led to, I'm sorry, going back to Professor Melanie. Now, in her teachings about crayon, she mentioned that crayon on a astrological chart, you'll see it, and it's like in a shape like a key. It looks like like a key. It has like a little, it looks like a key, like with a K on it. It looks like it symbolizes a key. So when I heard that, after a while, my spirit team, kind of led me and said, put a key on your altar, but put it inside of a lock, and like have the lock open. And that's exactly what I did. I had this key and lock on my altar for, I don't know, for months. And then all of a sudden, different little, information, breadcrumbs, my path kind of cleared up, and I had a clear understanding of my Gemini crayon placement. And I kept getting kind of bolder and bolder to speak and speak on why, when it comes to certain things and why this and why that, which you probably, I don't know who's all looking, but you've probably heard me mention things before or whatever, and kind of, have this bold sense of, I don't know, this like bold clarity to, continue to speak up. And so with Crayon and Gemini, depending on the house, it's you, when you were young, in some form or fashion, you were kind of told to, like, be quiet, that your words and your truth and what it is that you have to say is not valid. And so you kind of carried that insecurity, thinking that you can't really express yourself, in a certain way. My placement is in the 11th house, and with that, I have a hard time standing firm in my beliefs, in my knowing, in my truth, and what it is I have to express socially. And this could be via social media for me, or this could be in social settings. I kind of in certain social settings, I would kind of mute myself, or I would kind of, if I didn't mute myself, I had a hard time like verbalizing myself. It's kind of said that, you know, um, you have a hard time just kind of speaking, just in general, not necessarily speaking on a topic, but literally verbally speaking, maybe with a speech impediment, or things like that, or just expressing. You don't feel as confident. Other people will legit make you feel, like your voice doesn't matter. It can be intentionally or unintentionally that this can happen. And I often, had that, that had that feeling in certain, in most, I'm not going to say certain, most social settings. Either other people made me think that what I had to say wasn't significant, or unintentionally, I would always have to like speak up, you're not talking loud enough, or I'm trying to talk, but it's like everybody else is not hearing me because I'm not projecting, I'm not speaking loud enough. And so I'm thinking, people are ignoring me, but it's just that insecurity, that placement makes me, feel that way. Like I said, this could be people literally intentionally doing this or unintentionally doing this, and this is all across the board. And so moving forward, me, being on social media, I have things to say, but I often feel like, ooh, should I say that or shouldn't I say that? But then I have other aspects of myself. It's like, say that shit, don't give a fuck what nobody say that shit. You healing, you going through a healing process, and what you have to say is valid, what you have to say is truth, whether people believe it or not. And so I'm going to use this platform to continue to do my healing, because spirit has shown me that I'm at another level, when it comes to healing, and I can speak on it, right? And so another story. So, and I mentioned this before in regards to like manifesting my healing, manifesting currency, manifesting abundance, manifesting whatever. So I'm still in the same mode of like, trying to manifest, or not trying, I'm in this mode of manifesting healing. And Spirit kind of showed me, why I ended up, because the job that I'm currently at, I left this job for another job. And during the time that I was away, I ended up getting a lot of like downloads, a lot of rest that I wasn't getting before. I was able to go within. I was able to develop and network my own business and things like that during that time. And in that time, work kind of slowed down for me. And so I was asked from my current job, that I'm at now or whatever, they asked me if I could come back to help out, because the girl that ended up replacing me, she left. So I'm here, helping out for a few months or whatever. And it's like, spirit don't make no mistakes. I'm thinking, oh, I'm just here to help out, which there's no coincidences, right? Well, little did I know, I'm here, on an assignment that I can't talk about. Not that I'm trying to gatekeep it, but I can't really talk about this assignment yet. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to talk about this particular assignment. Actually, 2 assignments that I'm on. But not only that, if you go back, to some videos, I mentioned how at this job in particular, when I first got hired, a couple years ago, when I first got hired, before I left, the owner of the building, literally, her words, let me know that if there are packages that are go unclaimed, you can keep them around for a few weeks to a month or whatever, and if nobody claims them, you could throw them away, open them, do whatever you want with them. And so when I got back to this job after, working another job, working from home, came back to this job, went into the packaging room and everything to put some packages away, organizing some stuff, and I saw a package that, once again, it was like screaming to me. So I'm like, Spirit, what's up? So looked at the package, saw that this package was here since July. This package was here since July. I left in July. And I'm like, so I took the package, typed up the information, tried to look for the person or whatever. The person was nowhere to be found in our database. We got 2 databases, nowhere to be found in the database. And so I knew it was tugging at me to open up this package. And open up the package. In the package was a key. It was a key. It was a key. And I was blown away because when I opened this package up, it was the week of the full moon in Gemini that we just had. It was in the same week. And that week I was doing some heavy healing. Sat at my altar, wrote in my journal, just heavy healing around my crayon placement. Heavy speaking up, you know what I mean? Heavy just doing what I had to do to heal my crayon placement. I ended up with the key. Spirit was like, you got the key. You got the key. That thing is unlocked. You got the key. It was so clear. I'm going to, drop the picture below so you can read the letter that it came with and how symbolic it's like my spirit team was talking to me. I'm saying this to say not to even brag, not to even just be talking about myself, because once again, when you talk about your crayon placement, it heals you and it opens the door to heal the next person that has the same placement. And so, Spirit was just telling me, you got the key. And not to mention, I ain't even gonna go there because that's not, y'all don't really need to know that, but I'll drop the picture, right here. And so with that being said, it boosted up, it unlocked another level for me, and now I'm going to start to give crayon Gemini readings. And just to help out the next person, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to say it's the hardest placement to deal with when it comes to crayon, but it's a difficult placement. It's a very, very difficult placement. So let's see, all right, this is 555, yes. And it's 1254. Okay. Give thanks to ancestors and my spirit team, asking that my protection sit on the 4 corners of me. A circle of protection around me and the viewer at this time. Yes, y'all. This that just be talking. Giving things. This message is going to be for anybody that is struggling with Gemini got the Tower card. Everything, Spirit. Gemini Crayon for the collective. Gemini Crayon for the collective. So this Four of Swords wanted to come out as I was shuffling and pulling the energy for this reading. It wanted to come out, and I saw it, and it stood out to me. So, and it's at the bottom of the deck now. So Four of Swords right here, and I'm looking at this, and it's like he's touching his like his heart and his solar energy, and what I was hearing as I was shuffling is like your words, your voice, your creative expression, your self-expression is worthy. It's worthy to be heard. It's worthy to be seen. As long as you're doing it from a heart, as long as you're doing it from the heart. And there's somebody that has to maybe kind of go within before you kind of go within, because we have this moon card here that is on the bottom, and it's like go within before you let certain things be heard, so not necessarily to hide your voice or dim your light, but so that you know what it is, so that you will know what you're saying is like coming from a genuine place. This tarot card, I want to get a bit deeper, but I'm also feeling like things that you have said, maybe to other people. Yeah, with the Seven of Pentacles, things that you said have planted seeds and created tower moments in people's lives. Good and bad tower moments. Tower moments don't have to be these. Excuse me. Tower moments don't have to be negative. They don't have to be negative. Anything negative. Excuse me. Energy is moving. It doesn't have to be anything negative, but it's like you bring some certain level of awareness, and you have people thinking and contemplating and creating new ideas and new like thought forms, for people. The Justice is here, and the Justice is a Libra energy, a communicator. So it's like Spirit is saying, once again, Swords is communication. So maybe go within, tap in with yourself, and then kind of be in this energy and speak. Yeah, look at this. Be in this energy and speak. Self-awareness. The Nine of Pentacles is an energy for me of self-awareness. Making sure that you are self-aware. Because here we go. The Queen of Swords. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy. Because you hold a level of truth, you hold a level of knowledge, but with some insecurities, you kind of feeling withdrawn, and some insecurities with this Four of Pentacles in the reverse, and this Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is giving me like insecurities. You want to hold back, and Spirit is like, no, don't hold back. Turn these up, right side up. You know what I mean? Or however you want to put it. I don't really read in reversal, so it could be on the upright. But if I'm feeling like it's negative or positive, however, that's how I read it. But yeah, don't hold back. You got things of value to say. You know, you got things of value to say. When I see pentacles on the board, this gives me value. This gives me value. We got pentacles with this nine of pentacles, definitely a value energy, self-awareness, you know, self-assurance. You reassure yourself, you know, going within with this four of pentacles, four of swords can help you be reassured in yourself, or just reassurance. What you say can help other people gain some reassurance and some value. Like your words are value. You know, there's some value with what it is that you have to say, and everybody may not want to accept it. You know, these that are, you know, brought to like a tower energy, they may not want to accept it, or they may, I just heard belittle, they may want to belittle you, and that's okay. And I just want to address this because I hear when people see my readings and they say, oh, she's just talking about herself, or everything is about her and all of this and that and the third. First and foremost, every reading that I have ever give is not always about me. I do have room to speak on certain things because either I've gone through it, and keep in mind I'm 40. So certain things that I've gone through, I'm talking about when I was in high school, when I was 20 years old, like in my 20s, like certain things like that happened to me years ago. So of course, along the way, I've gained a lot of wisdom. You know, I'm not old, but along the way, I've gained some type of knowledge that I should be able to speak on. So let's not do that. And second of all, when I'm doing intuitive readings like this, no, a lot of times this ain't got nothing to do with me. But with this reading, I speak on it because once again, it's Gemini crayon. I have a Gemini crayon placement. So yes, I have been belittled and have felt belittled when it came to self-expression. So naturally, I'm here to speak on it and to teach it, and I'm doing it from an intuitive perspective, and I'm using tools to do so, the cards to do so. So I'm gonna just put that because I literally can feel y'all in my energy and feel y'all in my energy, and I'm gonna put that disclaimer out right there. So yeah, let's just keep all of this. So spirit is like, you know, go within and kind of sit with it to make sure that what you're saying comes from the heart. Make sure that what you're saying not only comes from the heart, but you know, just kind of collect, you know, the information, you know, because once again, people with this placement could kind of you know, have dyslexia, you know, battle with dyslexia, battle with a speech impediment, battle with a lisp. You know what I mean? I don't have a lisp. It's just my braces. You know, it's creating that issue for me. But you can have a lisp. You can you know, you can be shy, you know, in social settings. You can be shy at home, you know, you can be shy in just, you know, work settings. You can be just soft spoken or quiet. And, you know, I can attest to that because, you know, I've always been soft spoken until I'm very, very comfortable, you know, expressing myself. In college, I had a speech class, which honestly, I hate all like core classes. If I'm not doing nothing creative, I hate that shit. But in my speech class, I hated it because my teacher would sit in the back of the room so that I could project my voice. And I'm like, I hated it because I felt uncomfortable. I didn't talk to anybody in my speech class. So me talking, you know, in front of a bunch of people that don't even really talk to me, you know what I mean, or even welcome me or anything like that. I'm just like, I don't really want this. And at the time, we were doing a speech on something. I don't remember exactly. I just remember it was something about our personal life. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to these people that don't even talk to me about my personal business. You know what I mean? So I hated it. Anything else? But yeah, go within. Go within. I heard don't keep things bottled up. Like y'all, don't keep things bottled up. like my spiritual abilities, my spiritual path, and things like that. Like I kept it bottled up for so long, certain aspects of it, a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but certain people knew that I've always been a dreamer, but they didn't know that like I was drawn to occult knowledge. I was drawn to, tarot. I was drawn to different tools and different, different avenues outside of religion. I was like kind of scared to say, oh, I don't think I'm a Christian, or the fear was put into me to not, proclaim that you're not a Christian. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as somebody says they're not a Christian, oh, well, that's blasphemy. You blaspheming, the Lord, and you using the Lord's name in vain, and all this type of stuff that was like literally indoctrinated in me. So I shelled up, don't get me wrong, growing up, I enjoyed going to church. Like, it felt good, you know what I mean? But, I knew it was something much more, especially me having dominant placements, connected to the spiritual world, like dominant placements, not just one or two, like literally, like my whole chart is spiritual. Like me myself, I don't know no other way of being. Like me being in this matrix, in this 3D type, living this like, it's weird for me. Like it feels so weird. It feels so strange for me, and it always have been. Like always, like I have memories as a kid, like little, and it's like other people, like I don't remember myself at that age. Like how do you remember yourself? Like I can see myself as like this little bitty kid, and feeling like mystical and magical. I remember certain things that happened, and one particular thing that happened to me, I told my mom, and she's like, how do you remember that? Like literally, it's anyway. But like, you may feel like this, and you may feel like you got this wealth of information or this wealth of knowledge, and you don't know where it came from. And it doesn't even have to be spiritual based, it could be anything. It just so happened that my insecurities in speaking came for me spiritually, you know. But this can be you can any way you want to use your voice, and you feel like you don't, you're scared to use it, or it's like a dim light around using your voice, no matter what the topic is. I'm here to say, tap in with yourself. Make sure it's coming from the heart. Make sure you got all the information. These swords are the information. You know what I mean? Make sure you got, a grounded sense of information, because like the Four of Wands or whatever is a grounded energy. And so with this being the Four of Swords, this is telling me make sure your information, and make sure you and your information is grounded. And this is something that I often do. I go within before I speak on anything. I don't just, oh, I got this information, let me just put it out there and say it. No, I don't do that. What the Bible say, and actually what a friend of mine, reminded me of, I test the spirit before I just open my mouth. And spirit is advising you to do the same. Um, yeah, spirit is advising you to do the same. Yeah, with this magician here. Yeah, look at this. Absolutely. 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 I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm gonna just make this real plain and simple, and I'm gonna give it to you how I just got it. So this is you kind of tapping into all your mediums, so to speak. Tapping into yourself, as the magician, gaining some information, whether that be just simply going within, or studying, or being just divinely guiding, tapping into your heart space. Whatever the case may be, this magician is telling you to go within, with a magician mindset. And then I got, before you relay a message. with this magician energy. Relay that message. Speak on that message. It's like you got information that's been stored up, that's been pent up, And then once again, kind of temper yourself, balance yourself out, take it slow, take a balanced approach to what it is that you're saying. And then, kind of stand on that shit. Be bold about that. Be bold about what it is that you have to say. Be bold about it with the Seven of Wands energy. And so, I'm going to get some 4 agreements. If these 4 agreements have definitely been healing when it comes to just shadow work for me, when it comes to this Gemini Prion placement, sometimes this deck will literally tell me, nope, it's not the time, just shut your mouth. This is not the time, nope. This deck has told me, in the past, this deck has told me in the past that, hey, you need to sit with this and come from a softer space. You know what I mean? You may have some gems to share, but you need to come from a softer space. You need to, not judge. You know what I mean? Like, not, so I pull back, go within, but then I'll approach it, in a different way. Still bold, still confident, still knowing that, you know what I mean, this is something that I'm led to speak on or I'm led to talk about, but just come from a different point of view. And so let's see, what are some 4 agreements for the collective? And with the 4 agreements, I always pull 4 cards. 4 agreements for those that are dealing with Prion Gemini. It says, don't take anything personally. Embrace your freedom. You gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. And if you live without fear, if you love, you will be happy with your life. So in this time and in this learning, don't take anything personally. Just be free to be yourself. Be free to speak up. Be free to express yourself. Be impeccable with your word. Realize the power of your word. I love it. Your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift that comes directly from God. I love it. I love this for you all. I love this for you all. Don't make assumptions. Be yourself around others. It's hard. I'm still dealing with showing up socially in regards to being in person. I used to do like a bunch of vendor events and just kind of try to network and collaborate and everything. But I realized that I still needed to do some healing when it came to this energy. And so I'm kind of taking it, I'm baby stepping it. You know what I mean? I'm baby stepping it. So I speak and say what I have to say a lot on social media. And I don't have the views. Honestly, since I've been in this energy, all of the views and the comments and just the engagement has actually diminished. And which is fine, because once again, some of us bring the tower. Some of us bring the tower. Some of us are only led to speak just to plant breadcrumbs. Whether people pick the breadcrumbs up or not, we're just here we're just here to plant seeds. And so it says, don't make assumptions. Be yourself around others. The biggest assumption that humans make is that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. We are afraid to be ourselves around others because we think others will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. And that's facts. That is facts. That's facts. That's like self-explanatory. Because literally, one thing you don't realize is at 4:47 and love it on the timer. One thing you don't realize is that dimming our light, dimming our voice, not speaking up, whether or not people will believe you, hear you, care, any of that, that dims our light and it's doing us a disservice not to speak. Some people may literally throat issues. Growing up, my lymph nodes would swell up when I would have like throat issues. That would literally swell up. I could feel it. Boom, boom, boom. And I used to have like really bad sore throats and stuff when I like literally would just shell up. And so that's another sign and a symptom where you may be led to work on your throat chakra, which is another reason I gravitate to this deck. Not only my spirit team shows up in the color blue or whatever, but I gravitate towards this deck because once again, while I'm up here, I'm communicating. And it's just another way to help me, tap into that throat chakra energy. So Gemini, the communicators, the sons and daughters of Mercury, tap into your throat chakra. Tap into your throat chakra. This is more than 4. I'm going to just sum it up here. It says, love and respect yourself. Always do your best. Honor yourself. Honor the man or woman that you are. Take the risk. Oh, wow. Take the risk to express your dream. Take action. Taking action is about living fully and expressing what you are. This is good. This is good. So I'm going to get 2 of these. And then I'm going to be out of here. That was 30 minutes. I was going to get 2. So we got the penguin, authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. And then we got Black Jaguar, Old Soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dream. Snow Leopard, self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. All right, I'm going to leave this here, guys. I love you all. Happy healing. Love naturally.